worse. Yeah, it's worse. Welcome to Global Brief. Welcome to Global Brief. This is Global Brief on TVM.
Is this the light there?
The line, yes, it's still showing. It's still showing. The ones at the top are cleared.
It's just that one at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just that one at the bottom.
Is the light
This light, does it have to be here? It's covering the teleprompter.
That is the change the stand. Bring that stand. Yeah. This one doesn't go higher than this.
This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network.
Hello, welcome to TVM's Global Brief. I am Blessing Sampson. We'll begin in the U.S. Over 2,300 U.S. flights were canceled Monday as President Donald Trump threatened to dock pay for air traffic controllers calling in sick during the ongoing government shutdown. The National Air Traffic Controllers Association called its unpaid members unsung heroes and urged Congress to end the shutdown, now in its 41st day. Trump accused absent controllers of being unpatriotic and announced $10,000 bonuses for those who kept working. The union said controllers have been working 6-day weeks without pay, warning morale and safety are at risk. Democratic lawmakers condemned Trump's remark, calling them unhinged. Meanwhile, a bipartisan bill advancing in Congress offers hope for reopening the government soon. Still in the U.S., the U.S. has record government shutdown edged towards resolution Monday after several Democrats joined Republicans in a 60-40 Senate vote approving a compromise funding bill. The deal comes after weeks of disruption, with more than 1 million federal workers unpaid and mounting flight cancellation adding pressure to the end stalemate. President Trump called the agreement a very good deal, while Senate leaders from both parties said it would quickly reopen the government and restore pay to workers. The bill now heads to the Republican-controlled House, which could vote as early as Wednesday. House Speaker Mike Johnson said the country's long national nightmare may soon be over. And now to Britain's. Britain's unemployment rate rose to 5% in the third quarter, the highest since early 2021, adding pressure on the Labour government ahead of its November 26 budget. The increase from 4.7% exceeded forecast, with official data showing payroll numbers falling across most of the past year. Analysts say the weak figures reflect stalled hiring and growing uncertainty over the government's planned tax hikes. Economists believe the slowdown could prompt the Bank of England to cut interest rates in December to support the struggling economy. In Belém, Riverside favela of Vila da Baca, families cool off in plastic tubs as temperatures soar. Residents say the heat has worsened dramatically over the years, with little relief in the crowded Steelhouse community. Now, despite sitting near the site of upcoming UN climate talks, Belém remains one of Brazil's least tree-covered cities. More than half its people live in poor neighborhoods lacking sanitation and water services. Community leaders say COP30 has finally brought long overdue investments, including a sewage system and reliable water supply. Still, many residents feel neglected as wealthier areas get priority funding. Belém's temperature has risen nearly 2 degrees Celsius in 1970, adding pressure to already fragile urban infrastructure. Local leaders urge more support for the urban Amazon, where millions live far from the forest canopy's shade. As deadly storms strike across Asia and the Americas, delegates at Brazil's COP30 summit are focusing on how to help vulnerable nations adapt to worsening climate disaster. Well, a UN report warns developing countries may need up to $310 billion a year by 2035 for adaptation, though funding sources remain uncertain. 10 global development banks pledged continued support after providing $26 billion last year, while Germany and Spain announced $100 million for climate investment funds, while a new UN bond aims to raise $200 million by 2026. The UN officials say adaptation, protecting homes, jobs, and health systems from flood, drought, and heat is now central to global climate efforts. TVM's Global Brief returns after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back from that break. I will move over to Taiwan, where more than 3,000 people were evacuated on Tuesday as Typhoon Fengwang approached the island's southwest coast. The storm, though weakened, is expected to bring heavy rain and strong winds after killing 18 people in the Philippines. Authorities issued a land warning and closed schools and offices in several eastern counties. President Lai Ching-tai urged residents to avoid mountains and coastal areas, while the Transport Ministry reported dozens of flight cancellations. Fengwang is forecast to make landfall near Kaohsiung on Wednesday before moving back into the Pacific. Well, moving on to Malaysia, and Thai authorities have resumed searching for dozens of missing Rohingya after a boat carrying refugees from Myanmar sank near the maritime border, killing at least 21 people. 13 survivors have been rescued, while officials confirmed that 12 bodies were recovered in Malaysia and 9 in Thai waters. Search operations are expected to continue through the week. The vessels was among 2 boats carrying hundreds of Rohingya fleeing persecution in Myanmar and overcrowded camps in Bangladesh. Well, the UN says more than 5,000 Rohingya have attempted similar journeys this year, with nearly 600 dead or missing. Rights groups are urging Asian nations to stop turning refugee boats away and allow safe landings.
Malaysia stepped up its coastal patrols on Monday to search for dozens of missing members of Myanmar's persecuted Rohingya minority, who police believe were on a boat that capsized and sank. Several bodies have been found off Malaysia's northwestern coast near the border with Thailand. Marine police in Thailand said they also recovered several bodies at sea on Sunday, including children. They said refugee cards found on them identified them as Rohingya living in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar camp bordering Myanmar. Khairul Azhar Nuruddin, police chief of Malaysia's Langkawi Island, told reporters on Monday the capsized boat was the smaller one of 2 vessels carrying hundreds of mostly Rohingya people. Initial investigations show that about 300 passengers boarded a vessel in Myanmar 2 weeks ago, bound for Malaysia. They were later transferred to 2 separate boats in the middle of the sea, one carrying about 70 people, with around 230 others boarding a larger vessel. Authorities said the fate of the larger boat was still unclear. They said they have rescued about a dozen survivors so far, mostly Rohingya, plus a couple of Bangladeshis, and that both Thailand and Malaysia are deploying aircraft to help search for survivors. The mainly Muslim Rohingya have long been persecuted in Buddhist-majority Myanmar. They are facing escalating violence in their war-torn homeland and worsening conditions in Bangladesh's sprawling refugee camps, where 1.3 million of them have fled to. United Nations figures from early November show more than 5,100 Rohingya have boarded boats to leave Myanmar and Bangladesh so far this year. Nearly 600 among them have been reported dead or missing. Muslim-majority Malaysia is a favoured destination for Rohingya fleeing persecution, although the country does not recognise refugee status. Malaysian police said on Monday those rescued had been detained pending an investigation into potential immigration offences.
A suicide bomber killed at least 12 people and injured several others outside Islamabad District Court on Tuesday. The attacker waited 10 to 15 minutes near a police vehicle before detonating the device at the court entrance. Officials said Interior Minister Moshin described the incident as a major attack under investigation from multiple angles. Videos showed victims near the blast site, highlighting the chaotic scene at a normal crowded court.
ले आओ ना
Moving on to Iran, the Iranian government says it wants a peaceful nuclear agreement with the United States, but will not compromise its national security. Deputy Foreign Minister Said accused Washington of sending mixed signals through intermediaries and betraying diplomacy after nuclear talks stalled following the June war with Israel. Tehran insists its nuclear program is purely civilian, rejecting U.S. demands to halt uranium enrichment. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali has ruled out talks under threat but says Iran remains ready to reassure the world it is not seeking nuclear weapons. And to Gaza, a de facto split of Gaza between Israeli-controlled areas and Hamas-ruled zones is. Analysts warn that yellow line separating Israeli and Hamas areas risks becoming